Nirosa, please start.
Okay, sir. I'm just sharing the screen.
Just wait.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And please add everyone during your speech. No?
Yes, sir. Okay. Sir, you can see my screen?
Yes, yes. I can see you.
Okay. Ma'am, you can begin. Yeah, ma'am.
Hello, Niroksha.
Yes?
This is Dr.
Yeah,
Aruna
without
Mishra.
wasting any time, please start with me, Tia ma'am.
This is Dr. Aruna Mishra here from Forensic Science Laboratory, GMCT Delhi. I'm working as Assistant Director in Forensic Psychology Division. So,
Hello, ma'am. Nice to meet you, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am, you can start the session. You've muted yourself. Please do unmute it, ma'am.
just a minute. Just a minute.
Yes. And I would request all the participants to please mute yourselves while the speaker is speaking. And if any queries are there, please do put it in the chat box below. And for those who are there on YouTube Live, I would put it in the live chat below. Thank you. Yeah, ma'am, do start it.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for sacrificing your precious time on this beautiful Sunday to be here with me, and to my friends and family in India. Namaste. And thank you for joining me here. So I shall start with this intro. The obstacles of my past became the gateway that led me to new beginnings. It's a well-known quote. I'm sure you've heard of it before. These very important lines. When you start a new beginning, you must leave your past behind, opening new doors and chapters and closing the old doors. All right, but only in my case, I sometimes like to leave the old doors open because the old doors gives me strength. The old doors helps me to talk what I've been through, to maybe inspire someone else who don't know how to cope with life because they just don't know, what to do next. So I always end up sharing my story, and so much so that it's actually liberated me a lot. And it's also made me feel lighter because I don't carry that burden. So sometimes it's really good to talk about things that bother you, but you must have a good support and a good group of friends who understand you, because let me tell you something, living with mental illness is not easy. It's very stigmatized, and it's a very green subject to many people. All right. So my past is very dark. I'm going to share certain things here that may not um, be tolerated or welcomed well by a few of you, because it may trigger some of you. And if that has to happen, please leave for a little while and join me back later. Go and take a deep breath, and calm yourself down and come back, because my past has been a very brutal, very sad. I may even cry, so please excuse my tears. I got my Kleenex ready. All right. So, but despite going through all this darkness, I have found ways to bring me into the light. And that will be the positive tone that I would like to share with all of you later. But first, let's tackle and issue the bad things that's happened. Yeah. All right. So my past no longer hurts me because I use it as my voice. Because we all have a voice, and I choose to use my voice to create that awareness, to share, to educate, and to maybe help put a smile on someone else's face. So I'll begin with the accident. On the 4th of August 2007. So it marks my 13th anniversary of this amazing life I've been blessed with, a whole new beginning for me. The summary of the accident, what happened. Now in 2006, I found out my ex-husband was a bigamist. All right. The love was just not there anymore, no matter how I tried to make things work between us. It was just escalating from bad to worse. It started with name callings, abuse, belittling me, and it made me feel less of a woman. And and when my daughter came back home one day with her schoolwork, and he actually called her a nuisance, and that's when I realized I have to move on. You know, a lot of women, especially being in the Indian community, we are always trying to take care of family name, family status, what people would say. Well, sorry if I use this word, that's bullshit, because you have to take care of yourself first. Because if you are sad and miserable, you're going to end up doing stupid, crazy things, which I have done. I've attempted suicide, I've attempted all kinds of unworthy things. So I decided to take a stand for myself and move forward so that I can be a happier person. So I decided to leave UK. I was living in the UK. I came back to Malaysia, but sadly, trusting friends who were like brothers to me, this friend took me out on a nice meal, which I missed because I've not had this favorite meal of mine called asam laksa. It's like a sweet sour noodle, right? And so we went to Penang Island, which is about 45 minutes from my hometown. So we drove there, and it was supposed to be a friend's birthday, so on and so forth. But when I went there was no friends, there was no birthday, but my drink was spiked, my food was poisoned, and the next thing I know, I don't really drink alcohol. If I do take alcohol, it will be a sip of wine, just to relax or to, because red wine, they say, is good for your blood, so I take it based on health issues. So what happened here was I had my coconut water and my favorite food, which I've not had for 6 years, right? I was so happy, stepping back into Penang Island because I do like Penang Island very much. But on that unfaithful night, this dear friend of mine who was also a family friend, he drugged me with the intention of rape, right? So I didn't know I was in an accident. When I woke up after 3 days being comatose, I didn't even know I was in an accident until I tried to go to the toilet and I realized I couldn't move my legs. So of course I got frantic, like what's going on? And then I saw my leg all bandaged up, and then I turned. Apparently my dad was in the army, so he got me the nice first class room. And right beside me was a nice big mirror to admire myself. Only I couldn't admire myself, but I had to admire the bandages that were covering my face. So with that, I basically, Nirosha, can we have the images, please?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Just a minute.
Yeah. So, so on 2007, on the 4th of August, I was involved in an accident that damaged my skull. All right, so my head kind of split in half. And what happened here was from the front seat of the car, I was thrown to the back. And from the back, my whole head pierced through the back screen. And for one day, I got to be Supergirl. So I was out that way, flying out. Half my body was still in the car, the other half was outside the car. And I was totally covered with glass. Okay, as you can see, the first image, accident 2007, a damaged skull, a near-death accident, comatose. I almost went blind on my right side, and I almost went brain damage. But in the hands of an amazing doctor, I was treated in Taiping General Hospital, and within 2 weeks, the doctor realized that my skull was turning black. And when your skull turns black, it's leading to brain damage. So he very quickly called up a friend of his, which is Dr. Lim at Puteri Bainon Hospital in Ipoh. And he said, in the next 2 days, we will arrange for you to go to Ipoh Hospital. So I was then transported to Ipoh Hospital, and I met Dr. Lim from the plastic surgeon. So yes, I'm plastically enhanced. All right, so what happened here was, during this time, I was brought to the plastic surgery clinic, and I was seated on a wheelchair because I couldn't walk, right? And beside me, of course, was my mom and my daughter. And I was really nervous. I was really scared. I was agitated. I was frantic. I was still highly drugged with morphine. I could still feel it in my system, and I was really very lost. I didn't know what to say, what to do, because I didn't remember anything. I didn't recognize my family. I didn't recognize anybody. But the two people I always remembered was my mom and my daughter. As soon as I came out of coma, I remembered them. But all the other people, my mom had to slowly introduce them back to me. What's happening to the screen? Introduce them back to me. So what you see here is my eye. All right, I had sheds of glasses in my eye, and that was me before the accident. And my daughter was with me. So my daughter was actually my strength, because every day she would come into the hospital and she would be with me from 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock. I was indeed a privileged patient, because my mom was a social worker at the palliative care, where she put people in meditation and take them on a relaxing, peaceful journey towards the end of their life. So my mom was busy from 10 to 6 working. So, hey, I had my daughter with me. So do I want to be sick and crying and moaning? No, I would get up and exercise with her. So I was, in fact, an example patient, because the doctors would come and go like, we've never had a patient like you. We wish we had more patients like you. Our job would be so easy. And I was always very positive, because before the doctors could wish me good morning, I'm like, good morning, doctor. What's happening today? I was always looking forward to the next surgery. So in total, I went through 16 surgical procedures. I had 6 surgeries on my head, 4 on my eye. My fingers were damaged. I still can't move them very well. I had 2 surgeries on my knee. 6 of my tooth broke, so I've got dentures. Okay. And I had skin grafting. My whole head is skin grafted, right? And but when I met this Dr. Lim, he took all my fears away. I have never ever seen a doctor kneel down to face his patient eye level, hold the patient's hand and ask, do you trust me? And just seeing the humbleness of this doctor, getting down on his knees so that he's eye level with me, I just said, yes, I have to trust you, because you're the one who's going to save my life so that I can still continue being a mom to my daughter. So with that, procedures would go on, and for 5 weeks in the hospital, this eye, okay, I don't have an eyebrow here, because if my eyebrow starts growing, it grows upwards because the bone has been altered. So this eye was sewed up to my forehead almost for 5 weeks. So for 5 weeks, I would sleep with my eyes open like this. So sometimes I would be in a deep sleep, but people think I'm awake. They will come and actually disturb my sleep and wake me up. So I eventually had to tell the nurses and the doctors, please don't disturb my sleep, because I've got insomnia. I hardly sleep. And every night, they're disturbing me with the BP and the pressure, and patients coming in and out, and nurses walking in and out. I just want to sleep. Please let me sleep. I'm tired, because I want to spend the day with my daughter. So please allow me to sleep. So what they started doing was they started listening. And it's so nice when someone listens and they understand your situation. So the nurses would always check on me. They would call me one time, and if I don't respond, they would leave. And I would tell them, you only come to me when I'm awake and I'm waving at you. then you know I'm alive and I'm awake and I'm not sleeping, right? So what my brother did was, during that time while I was sleeping, he took a picture of me. All right, you see my eye there. He took a picture of me and he actually sent it to my ex-husband in the UK. Now, 2 weeks before my birthday, I received a wonderful mail, and in that mail was my divorce papers. So yes, I married a man who was just after my pretty face and my very sexy body, because I was a fitness person then. Yeah, I was into gym and all these things. But he was never a person who went for my heart or my intelligence. So with that, I realized what a shallow man I had married. But you know what? I was really happy to actually sign the divorce papers, because I would not have to be married to a bigamist anymore. I will be free of that. He was a very cunning man. He's a good man. He is a good man, but at the same time, he's very cunning and he can be very evil. So I'm always confused by his personality. I was always confused by his characteristics. I could never understand him, because I'm just a simpleton. I'm a simple person. All right. So with that, and I'll move on to the next picture. No, not yet. Yeah, same one, picture one. Yeah. So what happened is, you can see me in this red shirt, where you can actually see how my scar is here. So my scar basically extends right up from here all over my head, because my whole head is actually skin grafted. All right. And in 2018, my ex-husband came down to Malaysia, and I was then going to go and remove my dressings, remove the stitches from my eye. And when I came out of the dressing room and my ex-husband saw me without the bandage and all the stitches, this was what he said to me. "Ew, is this what you look like now? Good luck finding a man with this face." And you know what? I didn't cry. I didn't get hysterical. I just looked at him and I said, "Wow, thank you so much for my freedom." And that's when I realized actually how strong I am, you know. And based on that, can we go back to slide one? Yes. And in 2019, I'm just going to speed my story a little bit. In 2019, why you see me bald here is because I actually donated my hair to the Cancer Foundation, so that a child with leukemia can actually have some hair. Now, in this slide, hello, in this slide, back to slide one, please. Yeah, you can see I'm saying invisible no more, because for me, I have a voice and I want to be able to project that voice out. Now, the next image slide, you will see how badly damaged my face was. And that's how the divorce happened. And for those of my friends who have been constantly asking me about my accident, I was actually in an article by Ishta. They are also on Eccentrica. So she wrote a beautiful article about my journey. And these are extracts of it. All right, so we can move to the next slide now. Okay. So besides going through all that, I also went through hallucinations. So these are part of the conditions I went through after the accident, yeah? I went through hallucination, memory loss, selective memory, and I didn't remember who people were. So my mom had to educate my brains and my thinkings again, and she had to, you know, slowly introduce me back to my family, like who my sister was, who my brother was, who my dad was, the people who came and saw me, or the people who were there for me. The only two people I remembered was my daughter and my mom, right? And during my coma, when I was in the other world, I was looking down, you know, at my surgical table. I've actually got an art piece here that actually shows what the accident looked like, and you know how it was. I'll probably post it on my Facebook later. So for those of you on my Facebook, you can actually see it. Yeah, right. So and During that moment of being in the other world, I actually saw my grandpa, who was always my pillar of support and strength. He was brushing my hair and going, "You will be all right." Tata is what I used to call him. Tata is here with you. All right? You're precious and Tata is here with you. You will be all right. And I saw my mom going deep into her levels. My mom is a spiritualist. So she was holding my hand and sending me that energy to get well. And my daughter, she was saying, "Mommy, I need you. Please come back." And I think part of me was quite ready to go to the other world because something bizarre really happened in the other world. All right? What I saw was a little boy who looked exactly like me. And I looked at him and he looked at me and he goes, "Don't you know who I am?" And I said, "You look like me and I believe in this world 7 people look alike." Then he just said, "Go back to Amma and ask her who Pragalada is." Okay, ask her who Pragalada is. And with that, I'm like, okay. So as soon as I came out of the coma, that's the first thing I asked my mom, "Mom, who's Pragalada?" And my mom, of course, she burst into tears. She held my hand really tight and she said, "That's your twin brother." And yes, when I was little, she did tell me I had a twin brother, but he died. And we never spoke about it. But growing up, I always felt like part of me was not complete. I was always trying to be a tomboy. I would wear shorts and t-shirt. I would only play with the boys. I would climb up trees. I would do all the boy stuff. And even when I went to school, I would walk in a very rugged way. I was never that feminine. I didn't have that feminine side in me. So there were times when I was about 14 years old, I used to ask my mom many times, maybe about four times in my life. I asked my mom, "Mom, am I adopted? Did you get me from somewhere else? Because I don't feel I belong with this family. I don't feel I belong here. I feel like part of me has to be in a different country, a different place, and I have to have a different life, not this life." So my growing up as a teenager confused me a lot, but it was only on the day of my accident I realized why I felt different, why I never felt me, because I was part of a twin. You understand? I was part of a twin. Nirosha, can we please get back to the slide? So I had selective memory and I was also very negative. I was very hot-tempered. So these were few of the things I went through after my accident, and my 3 fingers were damaged. I could not move them and I still had difficulty using them. If I were to text too much, you can see this one gets really stressed up and gets tight. So I don't like texting. So that's why when friends tell me like, "Tia, can you not send us voice message? Can you just please text?" And I'm like, how am I to explain to them? How am I to make them understand that it's difficult for me? So I said, like, "Can you continue texting? I will just send a voice." And I know most people don't like listening to voice messages. So my friends who are watching, if I send you a voice message, please listen to it because it's very hard for me to text. All right, because I'm trying to exercise them. So in 2008, all right, 1 year after the accident, um, my daughter was taken away from me very cruelly, and I went through a lot of depression, and I didn't want to be sinking into that mode of depressive state all the time, because being in that accident and not remembering things and going through hallucinations and fits and all the negative side of health issues, I just wanted to be a new person. I wanted to do something different. I wanted to do something that empowered me. So I started doing cards, right? So I started working with ribbons because ribbons is something I need to tie, I need to work with my hands. So I was, in a way, giving my own self physiotherapy. So I would make cards, I would just cut papers, and cutting using a scissors was so difficult for me, tremendously difficult. But I would still do it. And I would do things like this. I would work with a lot of ribbons. I would coil them, I would tie them, because I just wanted to use my hands. And then I would also make like my own Christmas cards, like gift tag cards. So these were all part of my creative journey in 2008. All right. And then I started selling them online. And I'm like, wow, from, being in this accident and losing my job and, going through this really bad scars. I never went out of the house because I became very antisocial. I was afraid of what people might say, what people might think, because my head was so damaged, my face was so damaged, and my ex-husband already divorced me, my daughter's been taken away from me, and I just sunk into this little bubble. I created a very safe bubble for myself, because as long as I'm in this bubble, no one can hurt me. I would be free, I would be liberated, I just have that sense of, the happiness that I crave for. So, but then, I started selling my cards, and that gave me a new inspiration. Like, wow, I made my first money, I can buy something I like now. And then in 2009, I received my first second-hand camera, right? A friend gave me his camera, and I started clicking pictures, but I was just clicking pictures from around the house when the rain falls on the leaves. I was just like doing things that would not allow me to go out. But then I started seeing through the lens. And when I saw through the lens, the reality of the world out there was different. It was not ugly, it was not cruel, it was not, bitter. It was beautiful. So I started falling in love with nature. I started going out and taking photographs of landscapes and trees, and I would hug trees because I'm a tree hugger. Because when I hug the tree, I feel I'm hugging Mother Nature, and I started doing photography. So I'm a self-taught photographer. All right. And with that, I was also out in some media papers, and I'll elaborate on this media paper in a short while. All right. And from there, what happened was I started taking photographs. With the photographs, it gave me a new lease of life. I started actually wearing a headscarf to cover my bald head, and all the scars that people could see, because I was still very um, self-conscious. I was still ashamed of my head. I was still ashamed of my scars. I didn't want to scare people because I look like a monster. I look like some beast that came out of a monsterish movie, like what you'd see in cartoons or horror movies. And I didn't even want to look at the mirror, because looking at the mirror would depress me. So my mom actually covered the mirror. I didn't see the mirror for a while until my hair started growing, and I went and changed my hairstyle. And then I started looking into the mirror and said, okay, this is what I can do. I can actually tie my head with a bandana, a scarf. So I started going out and taking pictures, and people started talking to me. And I'm like, okay, people are not so bad. People are actually good. People are nice. And I started making friends. I started accepting society back again, and I started communicating with people. And again, it was another new chapter in my life. All right. Then in 2010, this amazing um, political party member with the Chinese community, Dr. Ho Cheng Wang, he presented me with my first DSLR camera. And boy, oh boy, how happy I was to receive that camera. I started going out more, and my pictures, started I know when I put okay, let this be there. When I put my eyes through the lens, I saw how beautiful the world was, compared to the reality of world, as I said before, how ugly and dirty and filthy it is. But when I put my eye through the lens, the whole world changed for me. The world became peaceful. The world became beautiful. So that started being a therapy for me. It started healing me. So I started now going to places. I started traveling. All right. So in 2010, I was sponsored by Marisik Kaba. It was a program on TV. The host was Aznil Nawawi, and a very dear friend of mine. His name is Muthu Kumaran. He actually approached a friend. He spoke about my journey, and the next thing you know, I was interviewed. My story was actually shared on TV, and Aznil Nawawi invited me to his studio in Astro, and he surprised me with a ticket. He sponsored a 6 months ticket to me to see my daughter, whom I have not seen for 2 whole years. And of course, I went to UK with my new camera, and I went to my daughter's old school, but apparently I was not informed that they had changed homes and changed school. So of course, then I wanted to surprise my daughter because I arrived on her birthday. So I wanted to wish her a happy birthday and surprise my arrival, but I could not do that. So my ex had to come and pick me up and take me to the house. And the next thing I know, my daughter's coming back from school and I'm hiding behind the car. And her father says, your friend has come to see you. And there I am hiding like a little, like just hiding behind the car wheel. And then she comes, and at first my friend, his name was Russell, he goes like, hi Bianca, come and see who's here. And she doesn't know him, so she gets very scared. So she runs back into the house. So her dad leads her out, brings her to the car, and then she goes like, mommy, So we just had a reunion after 2 years, and it was so beautiful. I got to hold her again, I got to hug her again, and it was just a memorable moment for me, and I'll never ever forget that moment, right? So the image you see on the screen now, which says Ludhiana, Punjab. Now in 2011, I actually decided to take a challenge. All right. And because, when you have a brain injury, when your skull is damaged and you're going through memory loss, and I'm one person, I can't get sad or stressed. When I get sad or stressed, my whole personality changes. I can become very angry, very agitated. I can take things and throw around. I can shout, I can yell. I was just disgusting. I was a bad person. All right. But I told myself, everyone is telling me I cannot do this. I cannot travel with my head injury and go to a whole new country where I don't speak the language, and people are going to stress me up because life in India is, very orthodox, and that's not my lifestyle. I'm more, even though I'm old fashioned, I'm still in that modern lifestyle, So I'm like, what? This is a challenge, and life is about challenges. So I went to India. Boy, oh boy, the minute I landed in Delhi, I was not, sorry, I'm not too keen on Delhi, but I don't know, I didn't feel at home in Delhi, and that's why. I stepped out of the airport, to the arrival hall. My friend was there to pick me up, and I very quickly told myself, I'm going to go to the next destination. So I went to Punjab. I took the bus, and my cousin's sister, Sheila, who lives in Maharashtra, she sponsored my journey to actually travel. So I first went to Rajkot, Gujarat, because a brother from Facebook had invited me. So I stayed in his house for 2 weeks, and I love Gujarati food. Gujarati food is so delicious, and it was a whole new experience for me. And they were vegetarians, so I was happy because I'm vegetarian at home anyway. So with that said, I went to Rajkot, and I had the taste of my first son papdi, and that's like my favorite sweet in India. I don't like jalebi and rasgulla and all these things, but I love son papdi. You give me a son papdi anytime, heck this weight, I will eat a whole box. I love it. And celebrated my birthday there. And then I went to Punjab. From Rajkot, I went to Punjab. Now, when I went to Punjab, I went to Patiala. I love Punjab so much. I love Punjabi people, Punjabi food, and I took a journey to go to Amritsar. Now, when I went to Amritsar, I took a deep breath. And you know what? I told myself, I'm finally home. I don't know why India makes me feel I'm home all the time. I said, I'm finally home. And the Golden Temple just made me feel so peaceful. I stayed at they've got like a little room where you can stay. I forgot what it's called, an ashram or something like that. So I stayed there for three days. Then I would go and have the chapati. I would go and take the sweets. I would go in, and then my trip in Patiala, Amritsar finished. Then I made a stop in Ludhiana. Now, when I went to Ludhiana, I again met a bunch of amazing people. And I think people in Punjab are really nice. So I met this group of very inspiring students from the PTCE College in Badwal. Now, right there, Nirosha, can we have that media papers again? And there was this NGO called Kachi Basti, and I was then asked to sell my cards, and we decided to do a fundraising for the slum children. So, and within, I think, 2 hours, I raised about 4,000 rupees, and I took 1,000 rupees for my journey, and the remaining 3,000 was donated to Kachi Basti, so that the children of the slum could have some kind of treat, that it be a school, stationery, blankets, socks, shoes. I don't know what they got them, but the money was donated there. Can we have the slide for the paper, the media? Anyway, so I was out in Times of India, Ludhiana, and with that, again, it's a whole new chapter for me. And while coming back from Ludhiana, I stopped in Patiala. Now, in Patiala here, I stayed with the family, the Ahuja family. Now, it's the Ahuja family who actually taught me manual photography. So, Hani Ahuja and his family taught me how to operate the manual DSLR camera, and he took me to Chatbir Zoo where I took some pictures. All right, Nirosha, can we have the slide, please?
Just wait, I'm doing that.
Just a minute.
Okay. 1 second, yeah. All right, so if you see Times of India, that's the one with the pink right on top, with the pink. So that was the media coverage done in Ludhiana. And the next one was when Datoho presented me with my camera. And the next one at the bottom, that's in Tamil. That was written by Kanaga Raja, and he termed me the Iron Woman. Back to the slide, please. Now, while I was returning from Amritsar to Patiala, then from Patiala to Delhi, I was so inspired that I actually took out my notepad, all right, and I started texting. I started texting about my journey. And the next thing, it was supposed to be a blog for Facebook. And the next thing I know, I've written a chapter, a next chapter, and I actually wrote a book. All right, the book has not been published. The book is actually called A New Beginning. It's actually an autobiography that took me about 2 years to write. And I actually wrote 2 books, and the other book is called My Dream Journey. And both books are not published. And currently my adopted brother is editing the books for me because he feels that that could be a potential film documentary material for awareness education purpose. Right. Now in 2012, I had my first solo photography exhibition, and it was sponsored by Hartamas Kuala Lumpur. And here I have to thank my friend Sinita Chopra. The funny thing that happened is she didn't realize who I was, and she was talking to me. And then I find her, do you know who I am? And she goes, no, but you look kind of familiar. I said, I'm the same person. And, you know, we just rekindled our friendship. And the next thing I know, she's inviting me to actually have a 2 weeks exhibition in Hartamas property. And Hartamas is actually a very big property company. So my exhibition was sponsored for 2 weeks. And what you see here are some of my awarded photography online, all right, on Viewbug and on few other platforms. And can we have the next slide? So in 2013, I went on my next photography expedition to India again. As I said, India feels like home, and I'm always so beautiful with Indian landscape because I think photographing landscape in India is amazing. I mean, I've not been to other parts of the world, but India. So in 2013, I went back to India again to challenge myself. All right, to challenge myself. And here I actually I took some pictures, and in a way, I felt this whole journey was also therapeutic for me. And at the same time, it was challenging for me because I was looking forward to all these adventures. My adopted brother, Sanjeev Sarangi, he has this NGO and he basically works with about 8 or 12 tribes. But he told me in Odisha, there are like 64 tribes. And I was very privileged to visit the Simipal Tiger Reserve, um, a village of tribal people. And I went into the paddy field and I did, paddy plowing with them, used the cow dung to actually make cement and making some leaf plates. So it was such an adventurous journey. And I felt healed. I felt empowered. I felt like life has so much to offer if you focus on healing and if you focus on being positive. All right. Now, of course, I had my medication with me and I was under these drugs called Lexapro and Respirodon. They're very, very strong drugs. And sometimes I actually cheated. I would not take my medication while I'm traveling because, India, traveling by bus or by train, um, my phone was stolen, my wallet was stolen, but luckily my money was kept inside my clothes, so that was not stolen. So it's quite dangerous sometimes, so you got to be so careful when you're traveling in the third class compartment because sometimes people don't have a ticket and they would just jump into the train for a free ride. And sometimes they will even steal your seat. And my seat was stolen like 2 times. And then I met this amazing guy called Anup Deshmukh, and he told me about this lady called uh, Sapkal, something Sapkal in Pune, where she adopts children on the street, and she's got this big home. So he was telling me about her, and we were just having a nice conversation. And his good friend actually gave up his seat for me because he was getting down in the stop earlier because I lost my seat. And so yeah, and my next trip when I travel, I would always like keep my phone inside my body, and tape it around me because I was scared because that was my tool, that was my form of communication, right? But all these stressful situation and all these challenges and adventures made me stronger. It was an eye opener because it was my ability to do more than what I thought I was capable of doing. I was going beyond my capability. And to me, that was something I'm really very, very proud of. Despite not speaking the language, somehow with sign language and getting people, being bold, saying, can you please help me? Do you speak English? And somebody who spoke English would help me, and then from photography, I actually discovered art in 2012. All right. Now, in 2012, I woke up from a sleep and I sleepwalked and I started painting. And the picture you see here is also up there. My first abstract dream journey was actually painted, believe it or not, in a sleepwalk state of mind. I had no clue I had painted this. Seriously, I had no clue I had painted this because I was a person who hated art in school. Art was not my forte. Art was not a subject I was, excited about in school. Whenever art lesson came, I would quickly pack my bags and run to the library, because I did not like the teacher because I always had an active imagination, and if the teacher would put something like that on the table, my art would be something like that. And I would fail because I did not follow the protocol or the still life subject that was placed on the table. So, and I'm one person who doesn't like to be told what to do. I've always had a mind of my own. And so with that, 2012, I woke up to art I sold my art pieces in 2015, and one lady from Ohio, Barbara, she bought 6 of my artwork, and that's how my art gallery started, because from not having any money, not having any job, now, hey, I've got thousands of ringgit in my bank. So what do? I invested it into my gallery. I invested it in art supplies. I started having card making classes where doctors from the general hospital would come and learn how to make cards like this, Um, and then I also started having art bonding session. And the art bonding session was something that started quite late online, but I was already doing art bonding in 2012. When art bonding came on YouTube, it went really viral because everybody was doing this faux art, something like this. Everybody was doing a faux art like that, if you can see the screen, okay? And this became viral. Everybody was doing this. Everybody was making money. Everybody was having art bonding classes, and they would charge so much, money just to go and learn something like this. And this is so easy to do. You just have to pour some paint in a container, mix the colors, and just pour it, and swirl it around, and boom, you get amazing art pieces. It's such an interesting art. And art opened up my mind again to creativity. So what I started to do was, I started I started incorporating dance because I love dancing. So I started incorporating dance and music into my art pieces, right? And that again became very therapeutic for me. And I was slowly healing because art and photography now was my art, was my healing therapy. And from here, I'm going to now touch on 2016. Now, 2016 was when I went to UK to visit my daughter because she was already 15 years old and I felt like I didn't know her very well. So, but this journey turned out to be a disastrous journey, a very, very disastrous journey. Um, and this was the year my daughter started pulling away from me, and our bond, which was once so good and united, started being drifted apart. It was being pulled away. She would stop talking to me. She would not want to visit me, even though I was so close to her. I was in the UK, she would not talk to me. And it was so hard to see her because what happened is 2 months staying with them, my ex-husband decided to bring his so-called new wife into the house when I just wanted 6 months with my daughter. But he always had a way of making my life complicated and stressing me up. So I told him, can you take your wife and maybe put her in another house for a while, because I want to be here with Bianca. I want to be able to cook for her and look after her and send her to school, all the things a mother cannot do for the child. I want to do it now. And he said, okay, no problem. And then 2 months I was in the UK, he brings home this other woman, and we were all made to live in the same house. And I'm a friendly person, so I'm okay, but my daughter was not comfortable. And this is when it happened. She actually abused my daughter. She slapped my daughter, and I got very furious. And I'm like, how dare you slap her? And during this time again, I saw my ex-husband for who he was. Instead of putting his arms around my daughter and hugging her and telling her, Daddy, sorry, I will not allow this to happen again, he goes and hugs his wife, his Vietnamese wife, and he tells her, it's okay, darling, it's okay, just calm down. And he turns around to my daughter and he goes, you deserved it. And at that point, I was shocked. I was bewildered. I'm like, what the hell? It's like, what father is this? His daughter was just abused by a stranger and he's supporting the abuser. And at this time, he also had a copy of my medical report from the doctor to say that I'm safe to travel, even though I have my mental disability, I'm safe to travel. And during this time, he actually used the letter, the home of, I of course made a report because I was also abused by this woman. She also hit my hand, and I ended up going to the hospital because I could not take the stress. I was really stressed out. And what happened here was I made a report, the child welfare came, the police came, they took a statement, but instead of calling me and telling me we would be coming to see you because we want to, ask you some more questions, they call my ex-husband and they tell my ex-husband, your ex-wife has lodged a report about an abuse and we are coming to the house. So what he does, because he's got first-hand information, he quickly packs the bag of his so-called new wife and puts her in a hotel. And my daughter and I didn't know he did that because we thought she was hiding in the room. So my daughter then meets the child welfare and the police, and she tells them, yes, the new lady abused me, my dad's wife, and my mom and I lodged a report, and I even made a complaint to the school child service. And only this time, my husband is taken to the other room, which is the kitchen, right behind. Those were closed, and he was just showing him some letters. They were talking, and the police guy comes out with a letter, said, "Oh, you've got hallucinations, you've got a mental disorder, and you've been certified by the doctor that you've got borderline personality disorder." So what exactly happened here? Can you tell us again? I'm like, well, my ex-husband has his new wife. She's upstairs in the room. You can go and check. She's in the room. Maybe you could call her and question her. And at that time, they were also questioning my daughter separately. And my daughter kept telling them what happened, but they did not believe her. What my ex-husband told them was, I have got an active imagination and I hallucinate and I make stories up. So I was actually the abuser. I am the one who actually hit my daughter, and I'm making my daughter now tell the authorities that somebody else did it, so that my daughter can save me rather than me facing the music. So now what the Home Office and the child welfare lady tells me is, we are charging you for inappropriate behavior. And I'm like, inappropriate behavior, what's that? It so happened that when they came to the house, I was in my daughter's room on her bed using my laptop, all right? And my daughter was on her computer doing her anime manga drawing. And I was on her bed looking for my next place to go and photograph because I wanted to go and photograph some caves. So of course the Home Office come, they see me on her bed and they call me out from the room. They said, we don't want you in her room anymore. Can you please use the guest room and please avoid and refrain yourself from going into your daughter's room. And I'm like, why? She's my child, and I have the right to be in a room because she is my child. They said, well, we are charging you for inappropriate behavior. And I got really agitated here. I got really stressed out and I started crying, of course, and my daughter is like, she was really angry because she's like, can y'all please go upstairs and check this Vietnamese woman is in the room? And they said, it's okay. You don't have to protect your mom. And when my daughter heard that, she used some 4-letter words and she went up to her room and she was really angry with her dad. And what they made me do is they got me to pack my bags and they got me to move out from the house and they put me in another house. And I was only allowed to see my daughter every weekend for 2 hours, supervised visits. I can't touch her. I can't hold her. I can't kiss her. And if I want to do that, I had to ask permission if I can hold her. And so with that, my daughter refused to even come and see me because she was so stressed out. She's like, Mom, I just don't want to come and see you. So for the next 4 months, I was in this cubicle room, waiting to see my daughter, waiting to spend time with her. Sometimes I would just take the bus, to just go to her school and meet her for lunch, secretly so that nobody knows I'm with her. But she would not meet me because she was scared that they might pack my bags and send me back and blacklist me to going into the UK, because then I would become a pedophile, a child molester, a child abuser. So you don't know how devastated I was. So I saw my pills, and because my daughter refused to come and see me, so for the next 3 months, I stayed in this cubicle, didn't know what to do, but I did some art pieces which I sold, in the flea market. And that gave me some money to roll. And I used to just travel to Reading and other places to see my friends, because I lived in the UK for 6 years. So my daughter would come on Friday. She was not allowed to stay with me. And the father would come and pick up after 2 hours. But then I started talking to the home office. I said, can you please let my daughter to stay with me at least one night? I would sleep on the floor. She can have the bed, but I just want to spend time with her. And eventually they let me do it, but eventually my daughter, she didn't like me sleeping on the floor because we couldn't be on the same bed, so because I was termed a child molester, right? So and that really depressed me so much. I was in the brink of suicide. And when I called my daughter and I said, will you come and visit me? Will you come and see me? I really want to spend the weekend with you. She goes, no, mom, I'm tired of all this. It's really very stressful. I just want to do my homework. I just want to do my own thing. You just find something to do. And this is where my daughter started pulling herself away from me, right? Now, at this point, I see the capsules. I see my medication, my Respirodon and Lexapro, and I gave up. I didn't know what to do. I'm like, maybe if I commit suicide, I would just make my whole journey easier. So I decided to take the coward way out, because I thought that for me at that time that was the best thing to do. So I took a whole load of pills, I put it in my hand, and I was going to pop it in my mouth. I was so ready to pop it in my mouth, and during that time, I'm like, no, I still need to be with my daughter, because why should I take this coward way out? I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't abuse my daughter. I didn't molest her. I'm not a pedophile. I'm just a mom who misses her daughter, and a mom who loves her daughter, and a mom who respects her daughter. But I'm not allowed to see her anymore. So, and even when the day I left in UK, my daughter was even scared to give me a hug. She was scared to give me a hug in case anyone is watching and taking a picture. She got that scared as well. And of course, I didn't see her in 2017. 2016, I went to India again. And no, I went to UK. And then I came back in 2017. My daughter came to visit me here in Malaysia. And because my mom was here, my mom would talk to her, and we would still have a nice conversation, and we were happy. She was happy here. And I remember her calling her dad and telling her dad, I don't want to come back. I want to be here with mommy. The love is here. Mommy loves me. Why do you keep saying mommy's abandoned me? Mommy never abandoned me. Mommy loves me. I don't want to come back. And it became an issue. My daughter actually extended 2 weeks because she refused to go back. And he, of course, got very angry because he had to repurchase the whole ticket for her. But then she had to go back because, she realized she couldn't go to school here. She had to go to school in the UK, because in the UK, school is very, the education level is different. All right. So now in 2019, 2018, my mom passed away, but I'll talk about that a little later. And what happened here is in 2019, I actually went for my gynae pap smear, because I do a pap smear every 2 years once. So during this gynae pap smear, I also had my orthopedic appointment. All right. Now, during this orthopedic appointment, I found out that I had autoimmune chronic rheumatoid arthritis. All right. And then after that, I went to gynae, and my colposcopy results were back. And then the doctor looks at me and tells me I've got early stage cancer, cervical cancer. Once again, I just cried in the hospital. I said, how can I have all of this? I take care of myself. I eat healthily. I practice creativity, wellness, and I live a healthy lifestyle. How is it possible? So now with this, what happened here was I again sunk into depression, and of course my mom was gone. My mom died in 2018. Can we have the slides of my mom, please? So my mom made a request for her ashes to be scattered in Mount Abu. All right. And here, this is my mom here. And I've got this amazing support. And these friends of mine were my pillar of strength. Yeah. And I quickly like to thank the Global Life Center, Ipoh, Dr. Jeffrey and his team, Grace Pillai, Ipoh, my convent school batch of 86 and 88, Prakash and his family, Rajan and his family, my cousin Shegar and Sheila, my cousin in India. And of course, my ex Carlos actually paid for my ticket to go to India to bury and to scatter my mom's ashes. So bless him for doing that because it was something my daughter requested. And finally, I also want to thank the Diamond Cutter Group. And they brought a whole lot of pampers and stuff for my mom. So my mom had amazing support, and that's the art bonding my mom did in 2017 with her friends. And the holding hand there is my mom's last request before she was actually put on life support machine. All right. And when she was put on life support machine, she told me, take me back home. Take me back home, meaning take her back to India, because you see, my mom was originally my grandparents are from India, from Andhra Pradesh, Bangalore, and Trichy. And if my grandpa was not brought down by the British to Malaya to do the engineering division for telecommunication here, my grandpa would still be in India, and my mom would have been born in India. I would have been born in India. And maybe that is why I said earlier, I never felt at home. And whenever I went to India, I always felt at home because India is my home. All right. So with that, I would quickly like to talk about, because I think I've exceeded my time. I'm really sorry. I still got a little more session. So in 2019, I actually was a victim of COVID-19. But because of my holistic approach, my alkaline food, my healthy lifestyle, I did call up the hospital. And the first question they asked me is, yes, you have all the symptoms of a COVID patient, but how is your breathing? And I told them my breathing is fine because I take something called Karpura Valley leaf tulsi. This is like my daily drink. And I was also taking this intelligent molecule called For Life. Now, this For Life is an intelligent molecule to help educate your immune system. There's not only, I'm cancer free today. Let me tell you that I have no more cancer because I've done 3 colposcopies and my last colposcopy came back cancer free. I thank this miracle capsule. And of course, what you see here is how I take my Karpuravalli leaf. I believe very strongly in this Karpuravalli leaf because when I was small, I had bronchitis. My mom used to pound the leaves and make the syrup, and I used to drink it. So my bronchitis was cured. Yeah. Now, I have a lack in trusting people. I don't trust people very much. It takes time for me to trust people, but once I trust someone, they are my friends for life. And this is my school friends. I love my school. That painting you see there is actually donated to my school because my mom said, please don't sell this work. This is my art piece I did with all my friends. Please donate it to your school because your school has helped me in every area. They got my mom a wheelchair. They sent almost 7,000 Malaysian ringgit in collection. And then my friend Susie and Elizabeth from Diamond Cutter actually brought pampers and everything else for my mom. So just also let me quickly tell you, 7th of August, 2 days ago, was my mom's 2nd year anniversary. All right. And yesterday I celebrated her cremation. I celebrated her life yesterday. And today I'm still celebrating life because that was my mom's advice. Celebrate life every day. All right, now we're going to go to the next part, which is my psychiatric treatment. Now, my psychiatric treatment started in 2009 when I actually took a knife to stab my mom when I thought she didn't love me enough, and she was always comparing me with my brothers and sisters, when I'm the one who actually followed her teachings, her lifestyle, the vegetarianism, the meditation. My sister's a convert. She became a Muslim. My brother has his own lifestyle. But among her children, I was like the only one who actually followed everything she taught. But yet, I always felt underappreciated. I felt, and that's why I feel like I never belonged in my family. I felt alienated, but my mom was an amazing person. The strength I have in me today, the person I am today, I have no one else to thank but my mom. I'm not religious. I don't believe in God. God doesn't exist for me. My breath is my God. The universe out there is what I worship, and my mom's teaching. If I were to call anyone my God, it would be my mom. Because without my mom, I won't be sitting here today and talking to you in this positive aura and this happy, the spirited person that I am. So in Image 7 here, you can quickly see that Body, Mind and Soul was an event I did last year for Breast Cancer Society, where my friend Mimi invited me to be a model, and I was so proud to be part of this journey. I also take part in various art festivals where I dance and paint. And finally, I am also invited, all right, by the Typing Psychiatric Clinic to sometimes participate in events they have, because I am still one of their very strong positive patients. So that's me there presenting my painting to the hospital. Now, my psychiatric treatment started in 2009, and over the years, I've changed a couple of doctors. But my first doctor was Dr. Morgan Naidu. Amazing doctor. He listened to me, he treated me well, but he had to leave. And that broke my heart because I felt I lost a friend. And then I had Dr. Fabian. Dr. Fabian was another doctor who was very supportive in everything and anything I suggested I wanted to try or do. Then he left to continue his studies. Then in between, I had Dr. Kumar. Dr. Kumar was also an amazing doctor, but he left also. Then in between, I had a few other doctors, but I was not comfortable with them. Last year, I had the best doctor in the whole wide world treating me, and he's Dr. Chong. Now, Dr. Chong basically takes me through different stages of treatment. All right. And it's actually very, very important to find the right doctor to help you in your journey when you do have mental illness. Okay, when you are suffering from mental health related issues. I have a condition called borderline personality disorder. Please Google that up. Yeah. Now, my treatment basically involves psychodynamics. Psychodynamics is a therapy that is aimed to bring the unconscious mind, all right, to unravel and helping the individual's experience to understand their true deep-rooted feelings in order to resolve them, right? Then doctor also does a treatment called social rhythm therapy, which I'm doing now. Okay, social rhythm therapy is basically an interpersonal and social rhythm skill, or also called IPSRT. All right, it's an evidence-based treatment designed to help people with bipolar disorder to improve their mood by understanding and stabilizing biological, all right, and essential elements. Now, social rhythm therapy is to regulate daily routines, to emphasize link to mood, all right, to educate and support habits and routines relative to medication, setting goals, create and sustain consistent daily routines, sleep, walk, and wake cycles, to increase skills to reduce the number and severity of socially based stresses, to learn skills, habits, and routines to prevent future active episode or effective episodes. Now, there are 4 stages of this treatment when I go to, all right? And this is my IPSRT treatment because I have a tendency of peeling my feet, okay? Where I self-abuse myself under severe depression. Most of the time, I'm doing it under an unconscious state of mind. Now, when you see my leg, I hate my leg. My leg is something I'm not very proud of. But it's something that I go through, something that I have to accept. And I'm sure that many people out there will also go through what I'm going through. Like, can we have the slide of the foot, please? Sorry, I'm going to show you my foot, but please don't be scared by it. All right. Now, there are 4 stages of this treatment. The initial phase, whereby initial phase, I would, sorry, can we just go back to my daughter's slide again? Sorry, because that slide didn't come on just. I was wondering where it was. Can we go back to that daughter's slide, please? Can we go back to the, yeah, okay. This is my time with my daughter in UK. All right. And if I have a wish for my daughter, it would be what was stated there. Yeah. I want the very best for her. Even if I don't get to see her, I just want the best for her. And I hope one day she comes back to me and we build our relationship back again. To the foot, please. Right. Now, the food basically, it focuses on my past history, talking about links of disruptions and reinforcing new social rhythms, building my confidence in techniques to learn treatments that I've already gone through. I basically have to record down what I eat, what my mood was, when I have that tendency to want to peel my feet, and what makes me do it, what was I doing at that time. So all this actually helps me tremendously. All right. Now, the final phase will be a distraction technique. Now, this distraction technique will also now relate to my feet. Can we please have the feet images, please? Okay, this is me attempting to actually peel my feet after a shower. Why after a shower? Because when you have your shower, your skin is soft. So when my skin is soft, I don't have to put pressure to peel my feet because the layers come out very easily, right? It comes out very easily. So therefore, I feel like I'm smoothing out my journey in life. I'm taking out all the rough edges because that's how I feel my life is. It's not balanced, it's not smooth, it's full of complications, full of obstacles. So when I peel, it actually gives me this weird comfort. And as much as I hate doing it, but I do it. I don't know how many of you do it, but please get help because this is not healthy. If you have diabetes, you're going to lose your feet. Okay, so I'm very, very scared of my feet. I hate my feet. So but what I do is I have this guilt feeling that comes afterwards. So I start having this cognitive uh, coping skills where it's like a behavioral therapy where I use techniques to distract that and draws attention because sometimes I feel I'm schizophrenic as well. I have auditory hallucinations, which is a voice hearing, and intrusive thoughts, which I go through very, very often. Can we have the next slide of the feed, please? All right, and my next session with the doctor will actually be interpersonal therapy. Now, interpersonal therapy would be the issues that will be addressed with my daughter. Now, the interpersonal psychotherapy or IPT will be a brief attachment focused psychotherapy that centers on resolving interpersonal problems and sympathetic recovery time limited approach. And it's intended to be completed according to my doctor within 12 to 16 weeks. All right, so my IPT will start on my next session, which is the 27th of August. All right, it first addresses the social isolation and the involvement in unfilling relationships, where is what I'm going through with my daughter right now. It's not fulfilling me at all because I'm still trying to understand why she treats me that way, why she doesn't talk to me, what have I done wrong, and all this blogs my mind. It creates a lot of distress, and yesterday was the day my mom was cremated yesterday. So please clap for me, please congratulate me, because on the 7th and on the 8th of August, I actually did not peel my feet at all. I was tempted, it was itching because the feet itches more when it's healing, but I told myself, in the honor of my mom, because I love her and respect her, and I want to celebrate my life, I am not going to peel. And you know what? I did it. I didn't peel my feet for 2 days. And that to me was so wow, so wow. And the IPT basically differs from traditional psychodynamics approaches, and it examines the current situation rather than past relationships. All right. And it helps me recognize not to focus on internal conflicts. Right now, my IPT, as I said, will begin next week. And here, my doctor will be targeting on how to establish communication back with my daughter. All right. And sadly, my stress level begins with my daughter. When I think of my daughter, I'm glad she's not listening because she'll hate me for saying this. When I think of my daughter and I think of why she has abandoned me, why she doesn't talk to me, why she's removed me from her social media, why has she distanced herself from me, I just wish she'd pick up the phone and she would say like, Mommy, this is why I'm doing this. But she doesn't. She doesn't see my messages. She doesn't wishes me Happy Mother's Day. It's been 3 birthdays. She's not even call and wish me happy birthday. I miss all that. And I start peeling my feet when I'm watching a movie and there's a mother and daughter involved and they are doing things together in the kitchen, they're hugging each other, they're talking or they're going shopping. I miss all that. I don't have all that tender moments with my daughter. I'll never have it. And now she's 19 years old. She's got a boyfriend, she's in university, and I still feel she's my baby, but I forget she's already an adult, she's already a teenager. So I have to now learn to cope and accept that my daughter doesn't float off her nest, and I'm trying to cope with that. So as you can see here, uh peeling my feet is my daily coping mechanism. All right, it brings me extreme comfort. As much as I hate doing it, once again I will feel very guilty and I'll pamper myself. And I actually use this capsule mixed with aloe vera and turmeric. And you know what? The next morning, this is a real miracle. If you want to know more about this, please message me later, okay? This is treatment after a 4 Life capsule. And you see how it healed overnight? It's amazing. And this can treat so many other symptoms, but I'm not going to discuss that right now because, my time, I've overshot my time and I still got a few more. So moderators, can I please have another 30 minutes, please? Can we extend it if you don't mind? So my daughter is in the UK, all right? She was separated from me when she was 8 years old. And from the age of 8, she's 19 now. I've not been her mom. I'm not allowed to be her mom. That right of motherhood was taken away from me simply because my daughter, even though she was born in UK, she doesn't hold a British passport. She holds a Portuguese passport. So in the Portuguese law, apparently the father has got more rights to her than I do. Until and unless my daughter changes her British passport, I will never have that connection with her. As sad as it sounds, but that's the reality of my life. I'm a mother who loves her daughter, but I cannot be with her. Okay? So here my feet gets very itchy, it hurts, and I would pamper myself as I said. Now I'm pretty proud of myself because I can't wait to see my doctor and tell him that I have not peeled my feet for 2 days, and I hope I can continue doing it for the next week or two because the doctor has challenged me to not peel my feet or to have a no peeling feet day. And I've not been able to do it for the past 4 months, but I did it yesterday. All right, so now I'm going to go to the next topic, which is this is my approach to being positive. Now, adversity is a fact of life, all right? It cannot be controlled. What we can control is how we react to or act on it until we find ourselves. At first, I self-sabotage myself because deep down I feel I don't deserve the love, I don't deserve the life, and that I like to live in. I'm not used to being thought of first. I'm not used to being showered with love, respect, or affection. I'm not used to having someone who wants to do everything with me. Even my own family have abused me. My own family have alienated me, and that will come towards the end when I talk about my sexual abuse. All right. And my own daughter has also, as I said, stopped talking to me. And because circumstances has separated us, and I really don't blame her if she doesn't feel that connection with me, because we've been separated for 11 years. Now, Abraham Hicks quotes or says, the reason you want every single thing that you want is because you think you will feel really good when you get there. But if you don't feel really good on your way to there, you can't get there anyway. You have to be satisfied with what is while you are reaching for more. All right, my friends, we must forget what we think. We need to focus on feeling good. Yeah, because feeling good will bring us far more than whatever we thought we needed. Happiness needs to be the outcome we desire most. Confidence is not something you're born with. Okay, some confidence is something that is built over time, like I did. It took me 11 years to build that confidence, even though I've always been a confident person. But the accident and what happened shut me down. It shut me down. And confidence is also very hard to destroy because it's part of you. It's there. You just have to tap it and bring it out. All right. It isn't always loud or forceful. It's not about popularity or winning, all right? Nor is it about putting others down um, or making yourself be praised or a support from others to feel that you've achieved something, because you can feel that on your own. Sometimes you just don't need anybody. Because sometimes people will just bring you down. Sometimes you just need your own self, your own um, your own space to say, I can do this. And you need to challenge your mind, your capabilities, yourself to do what is within yourself. Right now, I don't know. Okay, I didn't know that I had to be torn down to the rock bottom, all right, before I could build myself up again. It was hard work, really hard work. Now, you can see this Tibetan healing bowl, which is up there. Now, Tibetan healing bowl is something I bought in India in 2018 when I went to Himachal Pradesh. I love Himachal Pradesh so much. And my friend Suve, who's actually joining us today, he forced me to come to Rishikesh, I was only supposed to stay there for I think 2 or 3 or 4 days. But you know what? That place is so breathtaking. Please visit his place. He's got a little retreat center. It's so beautiful. It's so rejuvenating. It's so tranquil. And you know what? I ended up staying there for almost 10 days, I think. And I found passion. I found the love in myself. You know why? Because there's no mobile reception there. What do you do the whole day without your mobile? You go within yourself. You embrace yourself's journey. You love yourself. And you know what? When my friend Sue came back to the place, uh, I just thanked him. I was so happy to be at his place, and I'm going to visit his place. In fact, I tell all my friends to go there. All right. So, singing Tibetan bowl is not just something I use for meditation, but it actually helps heal me too. All right. And I think the best part about finding and harnessing this power within myself is that it gives me the confidence, the strength, the self worth, and I don't give people permission to hurt me anymore. Hence, I used to bubble myself up because I felt it kept me safe. But you know what? That was me limiting my abilities. But now, I may like to live in this solitude. I've been celibate for 11 years. I like that solitude life. But you know what? Part of me gets lonely. Part of me wants companionship because at the end of the day, I'm human. I'm not a robot. I'm not a machine. I just can't go life alone. I like my friends around me. I like calling up my friends and asking them how they are, because I'm human. I'm only human, right? So now I actually thank COVID-19, because when COVID-19 struck us, I'm already used to that, that solitude life. But you know what I found during the solitude space? People were learning how to appreciate their life, the people around them, finding out new recipes, new cooking techniques, new music, new hobbies. And what did I do? I started joining meditation groups. I started joining empowering business groups. I started listening to pyramid marketings, because I was educating myself to empower myself, to be a better person. So I've actually learned a lot. And you know what's the best thing I'm doing during this lockdown? I'm actually learning Hindi. I'm going to speak a bit of Hindi towards the end. I'm learning Hindi from Brother Vipul. He's a tour guide in Ranthambore National Park. All right. So I've actually given myself to find me. I utilize this given freedom to empower myself on a very positive route towards a happier me. Right. Now, image 3. See, the minute I wake up, I celebrate my life. All right. I celebrate my life because I like to fill my life with wellness, fitness, creativity, balance, peace. I do gratitude meditation, which was the Tibetan bowl image just now. It keeps me sane. Mental illness is not understood by many people. It's a stigma, and it's so essential to educate people, because so many people are ignorant. Can I have image 8A, 8B, please? Yeah, as you can see there just now. Now I'm coming close to the end already. All right. Now part 2. Here I just need half an hour more, my dear moderators, and then I'll be done. Yeah. Can we go to the next slide, please? Part 2 of my journey is I'm going to be addressing my.
I'm afraid that we have to finish by 2 p.m. in any case. We are already extended too much. So probably you have to conclude in maybe 5 minutes or more. 5
Right.
minutes maximum.
Can we have this images audio, please? This images audio about the poem. Well, we did start late, half an hour late anyway, so. Can we have the audio, please, of the poem with the artwork? Okay, while they are doing that, I will just quickly do this. Okay,
I'm playing that. Just wait.
Okay. Okay, before you play it, let me just address the abuse. It's when I was first.
I choose to be different, finding out where my place is. Always wearing a mask that hides my identity. Just because you haven't seen, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. These labels they give me, just because they don't understand. My pain is my burden, not theirs. Most times I feel alone, feeling alienated and invisible. But I know I'm not invisible. your voice. It needs to be heard. I look forward to what life has to offer me, but I'm often shattered in disappointment. My confidence is quiet, yet I'm not weak. I'm positive and I'm strong. I try harder, constantly in war with myself. My feet bears it all. I'm confident that all my pain will vanish. Someday be invisible. I don't need to hide my fears anymore. I am not afraid of doing something different. Dare to be something more. My amigos, my amigos are a handful, and I'm grateful to their presence. They are my flag of thoughts. My life's journey is an amazing one. I thank you. I thank you, for I am not alone, not invisible. I am invisible no more. 12 October, Tia. This is a quote by Robert M. Hansel. There is no greater disability in society than the inability to see a person as more. I choose to be different. For I am invisible no more. Thank you.
Right, so that was a poem I wrote, all right, for my artwork, which was the mask just now that you saw, called Masquerade. And can we please quickly have, yeah, that's the image 9A. Can we have image 9B? Now it's through Mia. I found a voice because with Mia, the founder is Rakesh Kumar. And here we had various activities and human library sessions. And here I was always able to talk about my journey. And this is the image here. Now, Mia is on Facebook. You can join them if you're looking for peer support. And it's through Mia, I actually met Dr. Rahim Kamaruddin, okay, who actually gave me this first platform on the 12th of July. Yeah. So when I met Dr. Rahim, we were actually discussing about child abuse syndrome. Now, I just want to quickly highlight my journey as a child. From the age of 5 right up to 14 years old, I was sexually abused by my uncles. And my dad and mom would leave me in their home because they were badminton players for the army. And during that time, they would groom me and they would say, like, this is how brothers would love a sister, you know, and they would touch me inappropriately and they would molest me, they would finger me, they would touch me everywhere. And then they would tell me, don't go home and tell this to your mom and dad, or you cannot come back to our home anymore, and we won't be able to buy you ice cream and chocolates and sweets and, you know, take you out. So I always thought having a brother-sister relationship was about abuse, was about touching inappropriately. So when I was growing up, when people used to tell me, hey, you can be my sister, I was like, no, you are my friend, you're not my brother, you are my friend, because that fear was in me. And when I was 14 years old, my grandpa saw one of my uncles lying in bed with me and touching me. At that time, you know, we were not educated in school about sexual abuse and things like this. So I didn't know what it was. I just thought it was normal. It was normal what a brother and sister do, right? And my grandpa came into the room. He chased my my uncle out, and he said, don't you dare step back into this house anymore. And then he tried to talk to my parents. My mom, of course, she gave me a hug and she said sorry, because I tried to tell them many times, but because I had an active imagination, they always thought I was making things up because I wanted attention. All right. And those were my dad's relatives. Yeah. And my dad was not a man. My dad is not a man I respect because I have seen my dad abuse my mom. I've seen my dad hitting my mom, so I thought that was normal. What my uncles did to me was normal because I have seen my dad doing it to my mom. I don't like my dad. I don't have any respect for him, but yes, I do forgive him because, life is about forgiving people and moving on. You don't want to hold grudges, because that's a bigger part of you when you can do that. So, and when my grandpa was my support, I was so happy because I finally had someone who believed in me. But sadly, 2 months later, my grandpa passed away, and I hit rock bottom, and I actually tried to take my life the very first time when I was 15 years old. And then with that I met Dr. Rahim, and I got to talk, and for the very first time open up about my sexual abuse journey. And it felt so good that I was able to finally talk to it about a group of people who've been through it and actually understand all the things I'm saying. So I thank Dr. Rahim because Dr. Rahim gave me a voice. Mia Rakesh Kumar gave me a voice, and that is lifted out of myself. And now I want to be a voice. I want to be able to approach children who've been sexually abused, to empower them with self-defense. I want women to learn self-defense because I've got this dream, and my dream has been shared with the Alpha Forensic Group. So I thank you so much. I'm going to finish this very soon. I'm just going to quickly read a poem my daughter wrote for me. All right. Here's a poem my daughter wrote for me after my fifth skull surgery. This is why butterflies are very, very symbolic to me. Okay, yeah, all right, please leave this slide for a while. Now, this is what my daughter wrote to me when she was 5 years old. She was a very good poet, all right? I was coming out of my fifth skull surgery, and she said, Mommy, I got this for you. Grandma helped me to write it, but they are my words. I am an ugly caterpillar transformed into a beautiful butterfly. Enjoy her poem. This was written on the 4th of October 2007. My daughter was 6 years old, sorry. You must be the girl of my dream. Well, let's get on. Your eyes glow like fire, your heart beats like a crystal and a precious emerald hugging together. The whole of you looks like a caterpillar, transforming into a butterfly. Mom, you are beautiful. Now, this is for my new beginning. The journey of 100 miles begins with a single step. I started a crowdfunding journey to help sustain my journey of relocating and to start life all over again because I'm quite tired, even though I love my life, but my life is not purposeful, it's not meaningful. I'm still searching for that missing pieces, and I know I'm going to find it in India next year. So if you would like to contribute to my journey, please message me. I've got 2 crowdfunding that's going on, which is image 11A and 11B, please. Can I have image 11A and 11B? Right, thank you. So those are my 2 crowdfunding, which you can find on Facebook. All right, and also I would also like to now thank my India team. Image 11, the children of West Bengal, and apparently my awarded photography has always been from India, mainly Punjab, Orissa, and Chhattisgarh Zoo, and West Bengal too. My photography journey began in France when an artist who loved doing flower installation decided to repaint one of my photography that I took in West Bengal. Can we have image 6.1, please? All right, this is image 6-1. This was my exhibition in, not my exhibition, but my friend's exhibition. But my flower, my image was actually became the poster image for my friend's event. And I was so honored. They actually invited me to be present to take a picture. And this was the beginning of my international photography journey. And then I had an opportunity to exhibit three of my pictures in USA, in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. And this is actually now currently exhibited in Hospice, Philadelphia, USA. Image 6-2, please. Come on, guys. Image 6-2, thank you so much. So this is image 6-2. These are my photography taken in India, which are currently in the US in a healing center. And finally, image 6-3, which was UK. It was an open photography competition in Burton in Stafford. And I was invited to actually receive my award from the mayor of Staffordshire. Image 6-3, please. All right, so this is the awarded photography in the UK. Now, there's a quote I'd like to share by Chief Seattle. Humankind has not woven the web of life. We are but one thread within whatever we do to the web. We also do it to ourselves. All things connected, all things are bound. Now, I would like to finally say my last thank yous. I'd like to extend a heartwarming welcome to the incredible India team and the people behind the forensic team. I plan to leave for India next year, March, okay? And I'm very, very excited about my journey to India. And may in nahi yatra ke bare mein sakara radma Jesus karahehu. I'm feeling very positive about this new journey. India, thank you so much for opening so many doors to me. I truly feel at home. I thank you, Alpha Forensic Lab. I thank you, Shobit Verma, the CEO and founder of Forensic Lab. Dr. Adrash Kumar, who created this platform for me, thank you. And finally, Dr. Rahim Kamaruddin, who introduced me to my very first session, and this new chapter of my life begin. I can now officially unchain my past, embrace and embark towards a new beginning. And I'm so looking forward towards these new challenges in my new journey in life. Thank you, India. I'm very humbled. I'm very honored. Thank you again. Pierre Milengi. See you soon. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was our
I'm so sorry I exceeded my time.
Not an issue, ma'am. Thank you so much for being here with us and spending your valuable time with us, telling us how hard it was for you and how you overcome your situation in a very brave manner, to be specific. And we all welcome you to India anytime. We all will be there with you. So any queries to be asked or any things you want to know more, please do put it down in the chat box so that we can have it to her.
I'll request the moderators to give their comments or the overview. Dr. Aruna, please. She is a forensic psychologist, assistant director psychology in the forensic Science Lab, Delhi. So your expert comments, because this whatever journey she shared, it varied from all aspects of life. Psychology, of course, was there, and the way we listened to her audios right since birth. I think everyone from different fields has to offer something or other. So let's begin with our moderator, Dr. Aruna, please. If you can say a few words.
Welcome everyone. I think if I need to know if there is any question from other side, or actually there are no questions are seen in chat
Yeah,
box.
because it was so much exceeded. The time limit is over, so I think there are no questions. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have seen all his story and her life events, and all are very striking. I think the people who face such type of circumstances in their life, so they face these kind of problems, depression, anxiety, and so many kind of mental illnesses. They are very obvious, but the way she had faced all these things and overcame from all of these circumstances. This is, I mean, appreciable. And but there are some things which were missing in the story, that when she had memory loss and such kind of problems, so what how she could overcome from such kind of things, whether any no the, when Miss Taya was facing memory.
It's yeah, it's basically my mom. My mom taught me meditation, positive energy healing, something called the blue frame and right frame mirror, where you unfocus the negative and you bring out the positive. Until today, I'm doing that, and that's why I use the Tibetan bowl. I dance, I paint, music. Healing, meditation, healthy eating lifestyle has been my journey and my recovery process.
By several kind of brain activities, she overcame no, these things. So this is miraculous, because in such cases, the various types of some supports are needed. So I think most of her part is full of meditation and creative activities, and she has a very good example. And we can add it in the clinical psychology area, her complete life events, her way of overcome. So we can add it. And we welcome Miss Taya here in India, and we would like to add her life experiences and the way she overcame. We would like to add it in our
When I come to India, you can always welcome me to come and give a talk at your university or college. I'd be happy to do that.
always welcome, Miss Taya. And okay.
Thank you, Dr. Aruna. The next moderator, Dr. Roli, please. Other moderator, Dr. Zahuria, she has already left because she had to attend another meeting. So, Dr. Roli, your
Yes, sir.
viewpoints?
Yeah, it's a wonderful story, ma'am. Taya, ma'am. It's really amazing that how can you cope? Okay, Tia. Okay. It's wonderful that how you cope up from such a difficult situations and issues about your health and emotional and behavior issues. But there is this psychotic disorders. How you can cope up with the diseases and what the medications also that you lost to mention it.
Sorry, one thing I forgot to mention because of time, so I had to cut short. I told you about the amazing doctor who's treating me now and the different modules he's going through with me, the different techniques. Now, he was one doctor who actually listened to me. I told him, because I know having bottles of medication in front of me sometimes leads me to wanting to take them more so that I feel calm. But you know what? I told the doctor, the more I see the medication, the more I'm tempted to actually take them. And I think a lot of people do this. So I told the doctor, I don't want any more medication. Please stop my medication. I want to heal holistically. And I want to be able to tell myself, I didn't do this with medication. I did this of my own free will. So what happened is, for the past 8 months, 9 months now, I've been medication free. Lexapro and Lexapro, they're very strong drugs. So I've not been taking them. So I still go for psychiatric treatment. All right. And I do different techniques, like all the techniques I mentioned just now. Right. And I also do my own therapy, which is my juicing, my alkaline foods, so on and so forth. So yes, that's how I heal with cancer. And now I'm trying to get rid of my autoimmune chronic rheumatoid arthritis as well.
It's wonderful that you cope up with such kind of therapies. And welcome to India anytime.
Thank you
To
so
meet us.
much. I'm looking forward to my India trip.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'm seeing Miss Anuja Kapoor there. Is she there still or she left? Anuja? Oh, probably I think because it's too much time. Yeah.
Is
Okay.
Dr. Yati still there?
No, she
I
is not
think,
here, sir.
yeah, she just left
Oh, okay.
because it's much over because she wanted to ask something, being a criminal psychologist and all from that field.
Oh,
Yeah.
Anyway, this happens. So I think we have exceeded the time limit too much. So I request if there are no questions from anyone, I think Nilosha and all Shobit, you can propose vote of thanks.
So I would like to thank you, Mom.
Sorry, Indrosha.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Anuja has joined again.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Is she there?
Yeah, she is here, sir.
Anuja, are you here?
Yeah, I'm there. Yes, I'm there.
Okay.
hello, Dr. Anuja.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you? You
Tia.
are Tia, beautiful name as you are and the beautiful girl you are. And I am so honored that
My name is actually Satyabama, but after the accident, it became Tia. You can call me Satya.
It's
also.
I what I believe is names always put a lot of embarkment on your soul. And I am so grateful that Dr. Adarsh has asked me to be there in this Zoom meeting and made me a part of your journey. And you are one beautiful soul, very, very strong minded. Just be connected with yourself. This is what you have to see. Don't look your happiness outside yourself. Neither your daughter, neither your ex-husband, neither anybody can give you that happiness ever. It is you and only you who has taken this thing up. It is a long journey, but it is not impossible. Always believe in that. And yes, I share a bit of you with me because even I am pituitary adenoma woman. I had this tumor of pituitary gland, and autoimmune disorders and rheumatoid. There are many things which also happened with me, but it's a long journey of my life too. But apart from this, there are many other things have come up as related to academic. So I am a strong woman too. But just by speaking it, saying it again and again, it doesn't make a difference. We have to bring it. We have to be on this side. And I am so happy that you are healing. And just do this thing, keep on healing. And I hope one day your daughter will know you, acknowledge you, will come back to you. And this is going to be from a mother to another mother. This is a blessing to you, and stay put and stay strong throughout. And this is my blessings to you all. This is the greater thing you're doing for yourself. Only the energies will work. So I'm just saying, bless you all.
Thank you so much, Dr.
Dr. Professor, thank you so much for
thank you,
giving
Nija,
her to our this panel. It is an amazing meeting.
that's so nice of you that you spoke from your heart. What I could see from the energies you are having, and I know what kind of ordeals you faced in your life, and
Yes.
and it will be our honor, you can say, to have your journey, life journey, on maybe on 12th. We are planning to have to share about yourself, how you can say again and again faced various tragedies in your life, and you changed and you come up nicely at every moment, every time. I think it is going to be a very interesting webinar, our next webinar, on this 12th, on the day of Janmashtami, same time from 12 to 2 p.m. And I think it is going to have a very different, you can say, interaction on that day. Will be very eager to listen to you also on that, Anuja. And thank you for joining us today.
Hello.
And yeah, thanks from all of us, Anuja, for sparing your valuable time on this Sunday.
That would be a great honor, sir, once again, making me a part of you once again. And I will be so overwhelmed when I would be introduced with such a beautiful manner through such a great soul by himself. And he's a legend himself, Dr. Adarsh. And he will be introducing me to this elite group and this great group of yours with so many eminent personalities who are there. And I will be honored, and I'm looking forward for 12th of August. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you, sir. So let me come to the end. I would like to thank Tia ma'am and also all the participants out there who were patient enough to sit and listen to her and get inspired by her story. I hope every one of you now can lead your friends if they face any of these issues as well. So, and the certificates will be provided within a week. And as informed, our next event will be on 12th of August. So the information will be put forward to everyone shortly. So I would like to thank everyone. I would also like to thank our media partners who are present. So thanks a lot for attending the session. Thank you so much.
Thank you once again for this platform. And I was very honored to be part of this today. Thank you.
Thank you to all. It's very motivational session.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.